Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the film. We are very lucky that we have with us here now the director of the film, Silja Hauksdóttir. Silja, nice to see you. And I have a few questions. First of all, I wanted to ask if you could tell us a little bit how this film came about. Where did you find this story and why this story?
This story came to us, me and my co-writers, through as a pre-written script, where the main character was definitely Agnes, who is the title role of the film, and it was like a first draft of a script. And me and Gaga, one of the co-writers, we read it together, and there was something there that really somehow sat with us. But and we started to think about, okay, maybe it needs a bit of work for us to connect a bit more. It was a story about Agnes, like a young woman in her, like 18, 19-year-old woman or a girl in a small town very close to Reykjavik, who was having like a basic coming of age kind of journey. And we started working on that with like, and our main goal was just to make minor adjustments, which ended up in after, like, with me and Gaga, like two babies later and 300 different projects, it ended up like being almost as a premise more than the first draft that it was when we got it from the author Mikael. So we kind of threw everything away except for this premise that we really sat with us, and we started working from there, outside of and from this character of Agnes. And when we started working on it, we slowly but very surely found out that the character of the mother, her mother, was the one who sat with us the most. And we had the third co-writer to join us on the team, and it was a growing process for all of us to, like, okay, we are connecting to the mother a bit more, aren't we, than to the daughter. So we started off as like having the daughter as the main character, and it slowly shifted, but very slowly and very surely it shifted towards becoming the mother who was the main character, mostly because we somehow felt that this was a story that needed to be told, but like we really had something, there was so much there that we needed to kind of investigate for ourselves also, because we are in our 40s, and this is also a coming age story for her, and we really connected to this emotional journey she was going through. So that was like a huge aha moment for us when we realized that, like, it is the mother that we really need to dwell with and go into. So that was like the biggest kind of epiphany in this writing process. And when we found that out and decided for that, like, let's go with that, and like this is the character that we have something to give, we went from there. So yeah.
Interesting. And also, like, the acting, both of the mother and the daughter, I found it extremely well done, actually. Katla Þorgeirsdóttir, she is quite well known in Iceland. She has done different things, both for theater and also in film, but I guess this is her biggest role so far. And then the girl,
Anna.
yeah, she I think she did an amazing job. And she didn't study acting, did she? Or Where did you find them? Was it a long process to find the main characters, the main actresses for the film, or?
It was a bit of a process. It was not as much of a process for the mother, because we really also, when we were writing, like I was mentioning before, it was soon very like, it was really good to get a face.
Yeah.
Just for courtesy's sake, we asked Katla, who plays the mother, to join us for a casting session, but it was like more for show. Then it was because I was totally kind of, I knew that she was the one who had to do it in a way. But with Donna, the Agnes, the daughter, it was a bit more of a it was a bit more complicated, because we had to also feel the character, and yeah, it was a bit of a journey. So yeah, the casting process with Agnes's character was a bit more complicated. She's very young, like the character's young, and we somehow felt that the actress had to also have that spirit somehow. And we did so many casting sessions, but when I found out that it was somehow so right when Donna came along. She was like, she made the one who was doing the casting video with her become like a mother, just because she was so like, she had the vibe somehow. So it was a huge find to find Donna.
Yeah. And this is like an international story in a way. It could happen, I guess, in many societies. And also, I've been to Galway. I'm sorry that I can't be there now, but I've been there twice for the film festival, and I love the fleet. It's a great event. Galway is a small city, small town, maybe not so different from Agnes, the small town that you chose for the film. Very close to Reykjavik, like Galway is close to Dublin. Was there a special reason why you chose Agnes, this small town, for the film?
Yeah, I'm really like for Icelandic films have a tendency to do like small town villages kind of stories, and I really like, for myself, I only had interest in doing a story that like for me it reflects being just away from a big city, but within proximity of it, is true to both of the main characters. So Akranes is like maybe 40 minutes a drive from the main city Reykjavik, but for the main characters, it's like somehow it's the mental proximity is like the challenge, I think. So I think for me it was important because like you can see your target and your main goal, but you like you yourself, you are the somehow the biggest obstacle on that journey. So for that I was really like interested in that, like having your own obstacle on your journey is something that you then find out is your like your inner obstacle somehow, if that makes sense. So it's just about, also it's just yeah, it's a made up concept somehow. This is something that I want, but I can't really get it, and then it's just something that you've made up by yourself. Also, maybe now I see it now because my mother is now in my kitchen eating dinner. She is also from another village that is half an hour away, and because she is like 30 something years older than me, this was a huge obstacle when she was growing up, being like, she was from the countryside.
Yeah.
And today this is not an obstacle, but still it's for me it's really interesting to like see what is an obstacle anyway when it comes to distances, and maybe this is like a bit, you know, foreign for people who like, because we are from such a small country that like there are no obstacles anyway when it comes to kilometers, but It's just interesting to take a look at something. Yeah, I think it's mainly about excuses somehow.
Yeah,
If
interesting.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. One question: what do you think was the most challenging part of making this film, or was maybe you told? Yeah, it took a long time and it went in a different direction. Was there something that was really challenging, or?
I guess that the big, I don't know, keeping the faith, having the faith, and sticking to, yeah, just believing there was something there without giving up hope, without, I don't know. I guess for me, to be completely honest, the biggest challenge was is before it got made. The biggest challenge is developing a story as a director, developing a story that you have for years and years and years. You're just developing it, and you don't have a clue if it gets made or not. And it's sticking to that, sticking to that plan, and having all these second thoughts about feeling like you have like the most expensive hobby in the world somehow, but still somehow, trying to keep that focus without losing your mind, and also, also while you do that, paying your bills and not going mental, and be okay to live with somehow. So all those four things somehow.
Yeah.
But when we finally knew that was like, this is going to get made, then the obstacles were just like somehow fluid and organic, and not huge. They're just like huge obstacle, yes, but how can we deal with it somehow? But it was mainly, I don't know, it's biggest obstacles are, I think it's to keep the focus and keep the faith somehow.
Yeah. Do you always work with the same crew? Maybe, or is that? I mean, Iceland is a small country. I mean, and we have many good professionals. But have you been working with is there somebody who's always on your side, or how do you do it?
I don't know. I think I love working with new people, and getting new like energy on board. But also it depends on the project. But also like trust is hugely important for me, and also developing a language, and developing a mutual language is also something that I find extremely. I don't know, that's a journey that I love as well. So now I'm, for example, working on a second project with the same DOP, the same AD, and the same costume designer, and same makeup, wardrobe, all this. And I'm not setting it as a rule, but somehow I also love getting on another project with the same people and skipping all those steps of dating, You're just in a relationship and you're gonna make it work,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think, but in the future, I would love I think should be inspiring to meet new people. But I also have this, I don't know, to find the balance between having the trust of a relationship, and also like infueling it with new ideas somehow.
Yeah. Sounds great. And then the last question: what's your next project? What are you working on now?
I'm doing directing and co-writing a TV series that's shot here in Iceland, called Sisterhood is the working title, and it's a crime drama, which I've never done before. It's a new territory for me. but it's it's so exciting because it's it's not a whodunit story, because we're with kind of within the first episode we kind of know who is the main predator somehow, or the bad guy, not the guy in this thing though. Bad girls. We kind of know in the first episode, but it's more about focused on how is it living with shame, how is it living with fear, what does it do to you, and how does it come about that you do something that is considered wrong, and what does it do to you, A, and B, like, why, who put you in that circumstances. So it's also about like the ground that sets people that do wrong, which I think is extremely exciting. And I, for myself, I relate to it a lot in my investigation somehow with, Me Too and a lot of other things that have been going on throughout, like, and everywhere. And I love like taking a look at, the gray areas of it all.
Sounds very interesting. So I want to thank you, Silja, for joining us, and thanks again for this marvelous film. And see you soon.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for watching, those who watched, and hope to see you soon, physically also.
Yeah.
Not only online, but thank you for watching, and thank you for the talk.
Yes, thank you also. Bye.
Bye.